Okay, so now we're ready to sew what we've already set up, okay? So now we're gonna go here, we're gonna follow our marks. So I'm on the top side of the flap. We're gonna do that one first. We'll do that one first. So remember, this is the one that's going at an angle. It may look a little odd, but when you flip it over, you'll see how it's gonna make a difference. All right, let me put this back into the tension. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna stitch, and you always want to be mindful of your pins so that it don't get in the way. Okay, we're gonna run it all the way. It's gonna run all the way back into the actual crease. This here. Okay, and then we're gonna cut that. All right, and then we're gonna go. And we're gonna do this side. Okay, so this side actually runs the course of the crease. Remember, it runs the course of the crease, so we stay right in the crease of it. I don't need to mark anything because I'm going to follow my crease, my original crease. And I'm going to stitch it all the way down to there. And then we just cut that off. Okay. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to flip it inside back to the right side. It's out. And as you can see that's, and so we flip that out. This is our under portion. That's what it looks like. And now the magic is here. This is when we're going to flip this side. I always just stick my thumb in here so that I can push out all of the corner. And then that's where we get that. I'm going to have to open this up just a little more because once we shorten it, we have so much extra allowance underneath. And I usually like to leave all of my allowance in if I can, if it's not a ridiculous amount again. So I'm going to open that up just so that when we place that on top, and now we flip this over, and then what I'm going to do first is that underseam. We're going to find the marking of the finish, and I'm going to just fold up that allowance where we adjusted that. Make sure that our seams are lining up so that nothing is crooked. So we're going to do stick a pin there, and then I'm going to pull the rest of my allowance out, make it flat, flatten it out. And I should really be pinning on this side. So I'm going to just reverse my pins and put them on the outside. And then we're going to follow the finish marking for the rest of the portion of it here. Okay. And now, and see what I mean about this? This is what it's going to look like. So this gives you a nice clean finish without a bulky edge going here. All right, so now we're going to place this down. Now all you need to do with this, just follow the original lines of where the overflapping part meets the underflap of that opening. All right, and so this here, then I'm going to pin this down. And as you can see, this is the side that has the 3 buttonholes. So if we didn't have any buttonholes here, we could really make this look nice and polished and have everything evenly, everything even on both sides or the same on both sides. But we have buttonholes here. So I'm going to have to start my buttonhole. My buttons are going to have to start here, where they typically would start about at least like 3/4 of an inch from the bottom or more. So, which would look, more appropriate. But we're going to have to start the buttons. We're going to have to start the buttons at the bottom because the buttonholes start here. But remember, we lost that one, so that one is still here underneath. So it would typically be another buttonhole that would go up. So what we're going to do is have a button, button, and then a button without a buttonhole. Yep, that's what's going to happen. Because if they wanted special instructions on that, then we would have made another buttonhole, and we would have put the button. And then some people would actually have you to take all the buttonholes out and not have the buttonholes at all. And then that equation is out of the whole project altogether. Or there's another thing where they could say, hey, I want you to rip them all out, take all the buttonholes out, start all over, put more buttonholes in. But of course, nobody really wants to spend that kind of money. So we're going to go with the basics. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to stitch, and this is our under flap. We're going to stitch that, and just follow the crease, the original crease. That's all we're doing there, remember? And then on this side, we're going to follow the angle of the marking that we marked. We're going to mark that here. Okay. And that's that. And then we're just going to follow the same process.